I'll do it.
All right.
Hello, oh, shit. Hello, Mother. This is Half Mental, the show that's 90% baseball and the other half mental. I'm Dan.
And I'm Holt. And today we're going to talk about
The NL Central. 3 days from opening day.
Dan's got a little invested in this episode.
Yep.
But 3 days till opening day.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to baseball. All right.
Let's get these bottom teams out of the way.
I went with the Pirates.
They're bad, man.
Oh, cool.
They got rid of Garrett Cole and
Right.
Andrew McCutchen
Right.
from a team that was already pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, what I want to say about the Pirates is, like, it sucks. If
Yeah.
you're a Pittsburgh Pirates
It's bad.
fan watching this, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, they were competitive.
Yeah.
Like, they had something to be excited about.
Yeah, they did.
Things don't look good for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah.
So that's ultimately why they ended up where they did. Well, I mean, the Reds aren't great. But
No.
they have Joey Votto.
Yeah, they have Joey Votto. I want to do a real quick thing on the Reds. I read this article on Fangraphs that has stuck in my head. I think Jeff Sullivan wrote it. So Billy Hamilton is
God, he's great.
so fast.
Yeah. So furious.
Super good. Too fast, too furious. Super good on the base pass. Elite defender. Not a great on-base percentage guy. So Sullivan suggested he enters the game as a pinch runner at the first opportunity every game. And it sounds insane, but it's actually a pretty good idea.
It is a good idea.
They just need some bench guy who can get on at a 350 clip or whatever.
Right.
And then put him...
They also need Joe Madden as their coach.
Yeah, to just do something crazy,
Right.
right? It was really interesting.
Yeah.
And Hamilton originally was like, no, he proposed it to Hamilton in the clubhouse one day. And Hamilton was like, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. But then his teammates were like, no, hold on. This might make sense. Let's work this out a little bit. Because Joey Votto is their only player that's really good.
Right.
That's enough time.
I agree, because it gets crazy up towards the top. And
Yeah, we
This
disagree on
yeah,
2
this
and
was
3.
hard. I've got a lot of friends that are Cardinals fans, and I also think the Cardinals had a really great offseason.
I agree.
So I actually have the Cardinals 3, the Brewers 2. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I want to talk with you, but about the Cardinals, obviously. But I feel like the Brewers have they have this energy,
You're
at the
right.
park and
Yeah.
with their team.
I would agree.
Things feel good there right now.
You're right.
And that's really all that put them. I don't think the Brewers are going to blow out the Cardinals. I think they might end up a half game or a game above them. The Brewers had an interesting offseason.
The Brewers had a great offseason.
Their approach to it was interesting. They kind of drug their feet, and then all of a sudden just made all these
Yeah.
pretty big time.
Yeah,
Had
so-
they made those moves earlier in the offseason, they would have been big time
yeah.
moves, but they did them all
So they
at
got
once.
Christian Yelich. I think was maybe the most valuable Marlin because he's super good and his contract is
Right.
really good.
He's an underrated baseball player.
They went out and got Lorenzo Cain, who's been one of my favorite outfielders for a little bit. No, they've shown that they want to try to win now.
And I don't know. Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what they're showing is win now.
I think that's an interesting point to start because you know where things don't feel good?
At Busch Stadium.
And in the Cardinals organization, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I do agree that they had a generally good offseason.
Yeah.
But again, the definition of that good offseason is that they missed the big thing they wanted and got the second best thing.
That's a good point.
They just never blow it out of the water.
Yeah.
And I get that burns teams sometimes. I get, we were second on David Price. We were second on Jason Hayward. And those things worked out. We were second on Albert Pujols. These things work out sometimes.
Right.
But sometimes you got to just go get the best
Stick your neck
player.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals don't do it. I still think the Cardinals are better than the Brewers. They were better than the Brewers last year.
Can we talk about the Cardinals starting pitching for a second?
Yeah. I'd love to.
I mean, can you just talk about it? I mean,
Sure.
I know we've got Carlos Martinez.
Carlos Martinez is a really good pitcher.
Right. I mean, we could be...
He's like a
we
top
could be-
10 pitcher
Right. We could
easily.
be talking about Cy Young with him.
Absolutely.
But honestly, when I was doing this, I was like, okay, now...
So they've got...
Now what?
Adam Wainwright is old, and may literally not throw fastballs this year. That's
Yeah.
like an idea on how he can be a pitcher. Is
Effective.
like, just don't throw fastballs anymore. Just throw curveballs and whatever other stuff you want to.
Right. Just be competitive.
And it might work.
Yeah.
They've got Luke Weaver, who's another young pitcher, who's been very good. Michael Waka appears to have figured out, he has, I forget the specific word, he has like a super rare shoulder ailment, but when he's pitched has been very good and appears to have figured out how to pitch with that shoulder. They signed Mike Colas,
From where?
who went to Japan for a couple years
okay.
and like figured stuff out, and he's had sort of a rough spring, but he might be okay. They have Anthony Reyes is their crown jewel of the farm system and recovering from Tommy John, and will be on the team sometime in May, and may end up in a starting position depending on what Adam Wainwright figures out, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So actually their starting pitching is like, okay.
Decent.
So again, as a Cardinals fan, the takeaway is always like, it's fine. Everything's fine. Like,
Right.
you know what? They're going to win between 83 and 87 games. And they're just going to do that forever, probably. I have them as a wild card team, but I don't like feel super excited about them, you know? I mean, and they went out and they added Marcell Ozuna, who is their best player, right? I mean, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, you guys added not just but like a high-profile home run hitter.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and they added a couple really interesting bullpen pieces. Yeah, I mean, there are reasons to be excited. Tommy Pham's going to be up for him all year, who was an MVP candidate last year. He's in center field now. Dexter Fowler's in right field. I don't know. Number one.
I think the Cubs had a very underrated offseason.
Yeah.
Their additions, like, were perfect and like complete them as a team, and they all came from the Dodgers. Like their biggest pieces came from the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Brandon Morrow out of the bullpen is going to be.
He's their closer now.
Yeah,
and he's going to be really good.
And he's going to be. You're going to see his jersey at Wrigley Field all over the place. Like.
Yeah.
I cannot believe the Dodgers let him go. This is about the Cubs, though. It's just he's huge, and he's huge in big moments too.
Yeah.
So that's something that they've needed, and they're not going to lose games in the 7th, 8th, and 9th anymore.
Yeah, they went out and got Darvish.
And Darvish.
They finally signed Darvish.
And I've been saying this all postseason long. If you've got something wrong with your mechanics, that's one thing. If you've got something wrong with an arm angle, those are things that, in my mind, would be like, all right, maybe we should be careful with this guy. Like maybe he's got an injury or something. If your problem is you're tipping pitches,
You can fix that.
it was fixed the night after the World Series. Like,
Yeah.
Darvish will be one of the best pitchers in baseball next year. The Cubs are going to be really good.
Yeah, I
But
mean, the Cubs.
John Lester's still going to suck.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Cubs are going to get, just like the Astros are, they're getting a full season of Jose Quintana, who they acquired at the trade deadline last year. And they've still got their guys getting better, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Bryant, they're in the talks of gaining Bryce Harper in a year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Cubs are in a good spot.
Yeah, they're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah. I think they'll not easily, but they will win this division.
Yeah. I think there's enough. I think the Reds and Pirates will lose enough games to make the top 3 teams end up with decent enough win totals.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I think there's enough losses in there for everyone to win a lot of games.
And, the Cubs had a very terrible and bizarre first half last year.
Yeah, they did.
So if they can, avoid that out of the gate, then you might see, 105 wins out of them this year. All right, so NL Central, I got the Cubs winning.
Cubs winning. Do you have a wild card out of this division?
Oh, yeah, I totally do.
You got the Brewers as a wild card?
Brewers wild card.
Cards wild card.
All right, so you've got both your wild cards are gone. Going into the West.
Uh-huh.
The best division last year. Weird.
See you tomorrow
See you tomorrow.
for the NL West.
NL West. How the West was won. The Wild Wild West.
Okay.
So that's half medical. So that's
Right.
half mental.
Right. Out.